Hi, welcome to this short video capsule on leadership development. In this video, I am going to speak a lot about a very famous and widely used model of leadership development called situational leadership. My name is Madhu, a leadership development expert with over 19 years of experience in leadership and talent management. My work has taken me to different parts of the world where I've had the privilege and challenge of leading people with different skill sets, different experience levels, and different nationalities. Like most of us, I too had a little bit of challenge, let me say so, in addressing these issues. However, with the help of situational leadership model, I was able to overcome. Let's look at how does this work. A bit of history before we start this whole thing. In the early 1970s, Ken Blanchard and Paul Hearsay, while working on their management of organizational behavior work, created this model called life cycle theory of leadership, later on which became situational leadership. You know what this model is about? In simple words, it means a manager or a leader needs to adopt his style of leading people or her style of leading people to fit the people's development needs. The whole model rests on two tenets. One, what is the individual leadership style? Two, what is the individual or the team's performance readiness level? The whole model is broadly categorized as telling, selling, participating, and delegating. We will dive deep down into this and understand in depth as to what these four categories are. Let's talk more in detail about these four quadrants and how and where I'll share my personal experience. The first quadrant being the telling quadrant. Here, the person or the team member will have high commitment but relatively low competence. This is a quadrant where you will have inexperienced people, who require a lot of help and support in terms of the tasks on hand because of their complete or perhaps lack of understanding of what is happening. I had a similar situation in my previous project where I had an individual who was extremely high on commitment. However, he was completely unaware of the task on hand. I had to spend a lot of time. I had to give him a lot of inputs. At the same time, ensure that he completed the project and the tasks at hand on time. I personally feel this particular quadrant of telling helps when you have people who are relatively new to the organization or new to the job. However, they come with high energy and commitment. The second quadrant is about selling. Here, the person may have some competence but low commitment or less commitment. The task could be a little harder. At the same time, the skills may be there or may not be there. The person might require a lot of recognition and encouragement and a lot of support. This is also a quadrant I usually call it as the quadrant of coaching, where we as supervisors have to ensure that we give enough support and also a bit of coaching to the person. In the project I was handling, I had an individual who came from a different HR background to the leadership function. The person was good, the person had a lot of experience, however, may not be in the related field. So I had to spend a lot of time, explain what the whole process is, how does this task on hand works, and ensure that he completed the task. Here, the best part is there was carrot and stick theory. We all know what carrot and stick theory is. I had to use that. At the end of the day, I felt the person was able to deliver with support. The third quadrant is participating. Here, the people have or the team member has high commitment but variable competence. which means he has certain amount of competence but perhaps may not be as complete as what is required. During this period, the individual or the team member requires increased, but support is still required to sustain motivation and to sustain their confidence. In the project which I was handling, had an individual who had high amount of commitment and also relatively good competence. However, at some point in time, I had to go back and ask how is it going, what exactly is happening, was he able to understand what was required, and also tell him he's doing good job. This perhaps will help with people who have good amount of experience, like the person whom I had in my team. The last quadrant is delegating. Here, the person has both the competence as well as the commitment. The person doesn't require a lot of support or doesn't require a lot of the follow-up. All that you have to do is just tell the person what has to happen and leave it on the individual. The project where I was working with had an individual who had the knowledge about the whole program, who knew what exactly had to happen. All that I had to tell him is, I need this, or I want you to create this, and I want it by, let's say, 3 days from now. For the next 3 days, I don't have to ask him anything. All that I had to do is at the end of the third day, show me what it is. And believe you me, close to 90-95% of the time it was what one was expecting. I hope the information in this video is helpful. I strongly recommend you to use situational leadership model in your leadership journey. Thank you.